What is triggering you the most on your twin flame journey? What is making you frustrated? What is making you angry? What is making you sad? Your triggers are your biggest guides. And on the twin flame journey, there's going to be many of them. So we have to learn what they're telling us. Understand that our triggers are our own. Our triggers are our responsibility. And in learning what they're teaching us, we can learn what to heal. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialize in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. This is it. We tend to blame our triggers on the external. We blame our twin flame. We blame the dynamic. We blame everything outside of ourselves for why we're angry. And every time we get angry, every time we get upset, it's actually a guide to what's within us. And that's the most important thing I will keep saying is your triggers are your responsibility. Your triggers are yours to heal. Even if you want to remove the twin flame journey for a second, you're not angry on a daily basis or you're not upset on a daily basis due to the external. Like I hit my foot off the wall and you're not angry because the wall was there. You're angry because there's something bubbling inside you. Because when we're not suppressing these emotions, you could do the same thing and hit the wall again, like walk into the wall. I'm saying walk into the wall, stub your toe. And effectively, it's not going to bother you if you're not actually going through deep wounding. And this happens for me. It's funny. I could watch the same program or same movie, right? And I could have watched it 6 months ago. And I would have been so triggered by literally just something that the person said. And I'm sitting there now going, that doesn't bother me anymore. And it's this sense of calm. You're like, I've healed that. And that's when you can understand. I suppose that's a great way of measuring how far you've come. Is literally when you watch something again that really, really pissed you off. And then you're really calm and and then you're sitting there I've had to pause the thing and go, wow, that made me so angry before. And now I'm really calm. But that's the thing. It wasn't because of the external or the thing the person said. It was because of what was buried within me. So this is how we can, I suppose, decipher what is going on inside us. What is it that we need to heal? And one of the hardest things we do go through on this journey is the frustration towards our twin. We're blaming them for not doing the work. We're blaming them for not showing up. We're blaming them for their actions or non-actions. But all of it is actually just triggering what you need to heal. And I think that's the most beautiful part of the awakening journey and the twin flame journey is learning to own your triggers. Learning that everything that makes you upset is like an excavation in a sense. You're literally given this opportunity to understand what's within you that needs to be gotten rid of. Because when we bottle things, and I've mentioned this so many times before, we're bottling layer and layer and layer and layer of wounding on top of each other. And this is why we heal in layers, because we need to take step by step. But wounding is toxic, right? And if you put a lot of toxic shit into a fucking thing, it's just going to bubble into more toxicity. It's just going to go, it's just not right. It's like an unhealed wound, a physical wound. You know what I mean? If you've got an open, gaping wound on your leg and you don't treat it, you know what I mean? And there's dirt getting into it. There's your pants is chafing off it. It's going to get infected. Ew. So if you don't look after an open wound on your leg, it's going to get infected. And if you don't look after the wounds within you, they're effectively going to get infected. And that's what comes out in triggers. That anger, that frustration, that pain. It's all of that shit bubbling up to the surface. It's just this weird images in my head now. But anyway, it's toxic. It's like that gaping open wound. That's the image I have of how our inner wounding effectively gets if we don't face it. And it comes out in volatile ways. We get angry towards ourselves. We get angry towards our twin. We get angry towards our pets or the people in our lives. We get we could turn to drink or drugs or overworking to distract ourselves, spending time partying too much because we're trying to distract ourselves. All these kind of things are unhealthy ways, gambling, addictions, anything like that. I just mentioned drink and drugs today. Any of these ways are ways that we distract from healing ourselves. And the quickest, like, we're afraid of the silence. We're afraid of listening to what's within us. But we think that, if we face our darkness, it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. And it is hard, but it's harder not to. It's harder to ignore it. I spent my whole life bottling. I spent my whole life not healing. And I lived in toxic situations. I lived in addictions. You know what I mean? I drowned myself in alcohol because of the fact that I didn't want to hear my thoughts. And it's beautiful. You get to the stage when you're introspective and self-aware, and when you're actually okay in silence, and you don't need, that's the thing. We think healing is difficult. Yes, it is. But back before I healed, I needed substances or distractions in order to avoid my healing. And that life was fucking miserable. I was unhappy. I was depressed all the time. I was unhealthy. I was in just toxic dynamics, attracting the same cycles over and over again. Life was miserable, and life was going to continue to be miserable. I lived in this darkness. Whereas now I face my healing. I don't need distractions. I love silence, and I'm not trying to escape my reality. So in fact, no matter how hard healing gets, it's still so much better than avoiding it. And the main objective about twin flame connections is inner healing and inner union. Unconditional love for self. And I think that's the most transformative and most amazing part of this journey, is finding that love within yourself, healing yourself enough to not feel triggered or angry anymore. And we're all human, so we're going to be healing an awful lot for a long time. But it gets to the stage where you're just so grateful for it. Every time obviously it's hard, especially when you're in a dark night of the soul, and I'm just out of a dark night of the soul. It's really hard to appreciate it, but in actual fact, when you come out of it, you do feel so much better. And this is the thing, I know the deeper the wound, the harder the trigger, or the stronger the trigger, or the bigger the emotion, the bigger the reward at the end. I see it, as I said, digging deep, and you're digging and letting go of so much heaviness, so much toxicity, so much pain. And there's space then. Your heart is more open. You can attract in more abundance. You can attract in more love in all areas of your life, not just with your twin flame, but with friendships, with people, people, the simple thing of, when I used to be unhealed, we would say, I used to walk with my head down. People used to think, in my local town when I was growing up, they used to think I was, they were afraid of me because I just had rest and bitch face all the time. Actually, I remember I was in one of my jobs, and you could see by my manager, every time he'd say anything to me, he was kind of going like this. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with him? But because I was doing a quiet job in the corner, I'd have rest and bitch face the whole time. So he thought it was he thought he was scary. But I was just a nice person from all the time. I was just going through anxiety and depression. So I was really, really closed off. Whereas when you learn to heal and love yourself, you're going around the street like this. Do you know what I mean? You really are. And then you even get smiles from people on the street because you're radiating love. The simple thing of that is so beautiful. Do you know what I mean? I'm years ago, babies used to be afraid of me, because I was afraid of babies, because I was allergic to children, effectively. But the more I radiate love now, even children and animals are just really, all animals are always attracted to me. But just because I'm not in that rest and bitch face energy, because I was unhealed, I'm now in sunshine energy, rainbow energy, unicorn energy. You know what I mean? So this is what the whole healing, this is what healing is all about. This is what your triggers are all about. They're guidance systems to show you what you need to heal. And that's a hard one. Because over the last few weeks, I've been in that dark night of the soul, but I've been in that very frustrated energy, questioning, why isn't my twin choosing me? And that was another one, right? I kept saying, why isn't he choosing me? And this was leading me to feel unworthy. And I came out of the dark night of the soul, and I was like, obviously we mirror our twin, and our twin mirrors us. So I was effectively saying to myself, he's not choosing me because I'm not choosing myself, right? But in actual fact, I think I was a little bit wrong there, because in actual fact, he's not choosing me because he's not choosing himself. Because I had an aha moment, and I was like, okay, if I don't choose myself, that means I don't think I'm worth it. And that means I'm not effectively doing the good things that I choose to do in my life. But I'm actually choosing myself every day. I'm choosing to be healthy. I'm choosing to exercise. I'm choosing to get up every morning early. I'm choosing to help myself and, you guys. Do you know what I mean? I'm choosing every day to learn more. I'm choosing every day to do courses. I'm choosing every day to enhance my skills. I'm choosing myself every single day. So then I said to myself, okay, I have been choosing myself. And that therefore means I do feel like I'm worthy. So everything I've been feeling over the last few weeks was effectively not my own anyway. It was literally mirrored energy. But I still owned it, and I still came back to it and chose to see what it was teaching me. And it's actually after teaching me how empowered and how strong I really am. And it teaches me as well, reminds me actually, it doesn't teach me because I already knew this and I just wasn't, putting it into action. We keep seeking outside ourselves to fix things. We keep thinking, I can fix my twin. What is he doing wrong? What can I do? It's like we're detaching ourselves from our own energy because we're putting all our energy into him and the outcome, or them and the outcome. And that's it. We're literally losing ourselves caring too much about what they're doing or not doing. That's it. And you're literally disempowering yourself. And that's what I was doing for the last few months. I know I was in a dark night of the soul, but I think that was mirrored as well. Do you know? But I literally was so hard on. I was hard on myself based on his actions or non-actions. So because I was concentrating so much on his energy, I was effectively losing more and more and more and more of myself, weakening myself even more, because I was externally looking for the healing, externally looking for that validation, and then when I brought it back, I realized I was so wrong for the last few weeks. The more I was thinking about him, the more worthless I felt, the more disempowered I felt, the more that I felt I wasn't choosing myself. But then when I separated it, brought it all back to me, I realized everything I was thinking was false. But because I was looking externally, I was becoming weaker and weaker. So I was effectively, this is the thing. We expectation creates reality. So if I was sitting here thinking I wasn't worthy and I wasn't worth choosing and I wasn't, good enough, I was effectively manifesting that into my life. So every day I felt unworthy. Every day I felt like I wasn't choosable. And every day I felt less than and less than and less than. But the minute I took my energy back and separated myself from the external, I was like, I literally went, everything I was saying is a lie. Everything I'm saying wasn't true. But I was effectively making it true by letting my energy be external. And now, oh my God, I feel so fucking fantastic. I really do. I feel so empowered. I realized, oh my God, I choose myself every single day of the week. And I'm really putting effort into my life. Now, would I really be putting all this effort into myself and my career if I didn't think I was worth it? No. I wouldn't be getting out of bed in the morning if I thought I was worthless. I wouldn't be learning new things if I thought I was worthless. I wouldn't be striving for a better life if I thought I was worthless. So I was literally falsely believing something because I was basing my power on his actions or lack of action. Now, then I realized it's not me that's not being chosen here. It's him that's not choosing himself. And I'm in my power now, and that's all that matters. And the whole objective of this anyway is to get to a point where you're so empowered that you don't need union. Yes, you want it, but you don't fucking need it. The only union you need is inner union. The only union that's truly important is you coming into union with yourself. You healing yourself and you going after your purpose. You finding that unconditional love within. And yes, we can send them healing energetically, and yes, we can hope that they do the same thing. But you cannot break that free will. If they want to stay unhealed, that's their prerogative. And if they want to stay in that low vibrational energy, leave them there. Because at the end of the fucking day, the more I was concentrating on him, the more disempowered I became. And this life is about you and what you can do for humanity. Yes, divine union together and divine mission together can mean that you can both do something bigger for humanity. But you can do something big for humanity on your own. So get to the stage where you are okay with or without, because you have everything you need within yourself. You are the most important thing here. Your energy, you choosing yourself, you empowering yourself, and you knowing that you're worthy of anything that comes to you. You deserve the highest vibrational love in this world. And do not let the actions of anyone else, especially your twin, make you question that ever again. The power comes from within, and your healing is what will get you into union with yourself, and then hopefully with your twin flame as well. Because when you become empowered, they will mirror this back to you. But when you keep putting it external, you're disempowering yourself. So as you disempower yourself, this disempowers your twin as well. But as you empower yourself, they will become empowered as well. So trust the process. The stronger you get, the stronger they will get. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a discovery call today, and we'll love you more than to help on your path.